araw pumila ang maraming cosplayers at gamers dahil sa overcrowding sa isang event sa Pasay. Ang iba umuwi na lang kahit
Hello everyone, this is Noir Arcanlight, and even to this day, I can still feel my legs. You know, it's been 3 days since that dreaded CONQuest Day 3 line hell experience from the time of recording, but I, among others, still feel ripped off by the organizers. If you think this picture looks bad, then it was even worse actually experiencing it myself. Now let me tell you the tragedy that is CONQuest, the lines. Sunday, 7 a.m. Me and my friend rode a bus to Manila, pretty excited for what's to come. The fare was 250 pesos each, not cheap, but at the time, worth the spending. After almost 2 hours on the ride, we arrived at the capital. And since we arrived 1 hour earlier than expected, and my friend has someone else who's gonna come with us, we just waited the hour out while sightseeing for a bit. It is now 10 a.m. We decided to go to SMX because my friend's friend was gonna arrive early. And about 15 minutes later, we got off the taxi on site, and there we had a glimpse of the impending disaster. The lines at the time were up to the second lane of the road, and so when we saw that, we thought we could just wait it out for a bit, I guess. 30 minutes later, the line just grew even longer, and so after we picked up friend number 2, we queued up to the line amidst the heat. Then the first nail struck us.
Round 2. Fight!
When we were going inside the inner circle of CONQuest Hell, that is, the area on the immediate entrance to the building up to the first 2 lanes of the street, we were suddenly pulled out of the line because we don't have a wristband on. Maybe it was on us not knowing that we should have exchanged the tickets to the wristbands, but there was no megaphone or even an announcer that reminds people of that one critical requirement. And when we fall back in line, there was a lot of people who also don't have wristbands on. Like, there should at least have somebody reminding the people outside about the wristband thing. And so, like a Dark Souls boss with a second life bar, we were booted back to the back of the line. This time, on the opposite side of the building. It was already past 12 by then, and the sun's heat was ramping up. 2 of us stayed behind while my friend got the wristbands for us. As we went nearer the inner circle again, the line converged and moved even slower than before. We spent over 2 hours just mostly standing there before we got back to the inner circle. People were absolutely packed as we dove in deeper, and by the time we were so close to the entrance, the line was still just as long, if not longer. About 4 p.m., we finally entered the venue. But there's still a freaking line inside! There was this freaking long line at the escalator to the second floor, where most of our main destinations were. After another 30 minutes or so of just queuing up, we climbed to the top of the building. You know, to be honest with you, I almost kneeled when we entered the building, but I really tried not to. I don't want to make a scene up there because it's so jam-packed of people at the moment. And after more mishaps with the three of us getting separated amongst the sea of people inside the second floor venue, I just decided to search for my VTuber friend's booth, and when I found it, after some greetings and some delivery, I just sat there like Shinji, feeling defeated as heck, as I waited for my friends to pick me up and go home.
Just let me die! Just let me die! Let me die in peace!
In summary, my personal experience with CONQuest Day 3 is hell. It's like I've been dragged along by Virgil to the 9 circles of hell, and I survived until the very center. But personal experiences aside, CONQuest's Day 3 really was the breaking point where the organizers lost control over seemingly everything, though the problems were already picking over them at Day 2. Their number one fault was overcrowding the venue area. Even at Day 2, this was a major issue, and this is caused, of course, by them selling more tickets on site. As a result, many people were not able to enter the venue on Saturday, and in their divine intelligence, the organizers decided to let the ones who did not able to enter on Day 2 to have an entrance for Day 3. And now with this, the stage has been set for a perfect storm of a shit show, because they also sold tickets for Sunday. Can you imagine the chaos that would ensue? Well, we didn't have to imagine because we experienced it firsthand. In an effort to control the situation, and with the warnings from both the LGUs and the venue management, the organizers had this brilliant idea of putting only one entrance open. One. And well, you know how it turned up. It really was like watching a super typhoon grow. From the online and on-site ticket holders lining up, and then getting longer due to Day 2 returners and those who went outside and wanted to go back in, which by the way have no separate entrance on their own. Even the premium pass holders, which should have not been on that line in the first place, had to stand in the same Ouroboros snake line as the rest of us. The line finally went a bit fast past 2 p.m., but at the expense of all the food stalls on the second floor in an effort to relieve the floor of people. While it kind of worked, it also prevented those poor folks at the stalls to break even with their businesses that day. What a shame, really. Overall though, the organizers really lost control over the crowd and the growth of the line the instant they decided to go greedy and sell more tickets. There is a reason venues showed to their organizers the maximum capacity of their buildings, and they chose to ignore it. It was so bad that when we arrived to the second floor and took a step in, we were so afraid the whole floor would collapse due to the Just Dance booth making the floor literally shake like there's an earthquake around. Of all the conventions that I went and attended to, this has to be the worst one of them all. Yes, all the other ones have long lines and such, but at least the lines dissipate after just, I don't know, an hour or two, and people still can go in and out the venue area freely as they please. And now, some more addendum before I end the video. First, the giveaway. As we entered the venue, someone from the organizing team gave us a bag of CONQuest goodies, if you can call it one. The contents? A Jollibee kiddie toy, a pack of biscuits, which I already ate by the way, and 2 brochures for a university and an online trading app. So this is what $800 is worth for. Second, the first floor. It's filled with gaming stuff, but mainly from Riot Games. Riot Games, huh? No wonder the venue was very toxic. But seriously though, one of the other games in there that I saw was Redfall. Yes, that one game by Bethesda, which is a complete and utter failure. I almost wanted to try it for myself just to experience it, but I was freaking too tired to even hold a mouse at that point. Thirdly, a bread debacle. You see, Fua gave out some sample bread to the attendees, but one apparently had a problem with the expiration date instead of being grateful. While I get that frustration models out the mind a bit, I think it was a bit of a rage nitpick if I say so myself. Like, firstly, it clearly says sample right there. Second, expiration dates don't usually means it's not edible, but we can't really blame the poster. The event was that just of a shit show to begin with. And lastly, the White Knights. Their arguments seem to mainly focus on the time we have to arrive in there. Like, you must fall in line to the earliest hours so that the queue will be cleared earlier. And I say to that, no. I firmly believe that an event should always be able to let in and let out people at any time they want. Early or not, that long queue should have not happened if only the organizers remember the capacity of the venue area. Also, I would argue that even if the line started at 5 AM, it would still lead to that disastrous waiting line. I mean, no alternate exits and entrances? Good luck with that. And this is just a part of what CONQuest failed to deliver. There's still this meet and greet debacle, which really, I haven't researched that much because I really just went there to meet with my VTuber friends, so. In which, by the way, I haven't met most of them. And then there's this pretty touching gesture by Pokimane, in which she, I guess, bought Jollibee to the last people who were still standing on the line by, I think, 6 or 7 PM? I mean, wow. I am not a fan of Pokimane by any means, but I respectfully salute her for doing that, I guess. You know that a convention is messed up when the guest had to do a giveaway just to appease to the poor people outside. Oh well, that's just the CONQuest experience for you. It's really baffling how greed and forgetting the capacity of your venue can lead to a disaster like this. The CEO can apologize all he wants, but the time we wasted for this con will never be refunded. It was my first CONQuest, and whenever I see my VTuber friends past years' CONQuest experiences, I really tend to get envious sometimes. But after all of that, this might as well be my last. Thanks for listening to my ramble, I guess. It's kinda noisy outside because it's a festive event, but I'll take any chances of recording this. Now I'm out of here.